Poppin', y'all. Welcome to Cartel Chronicles. I'm your host, Shy Ill. Cartel Chronicles is a new series that I'm starting on YouTube to kind of separate ourselves from strictly the Surviving El Chapo story or the Cartel Wives story. Perfect example for that is, since I've started this channel, I've got multiple requests for people asking me to do Pirata de Culiacán. For those that know the story, you know what we're talking about here. For those that don't, we're going to get through it together today, right here, right now, on Cartel Chronicles.
Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales was a teenager that a lot of teenage boys around the world would have envied. Born in Navolato, in the state of Sinaloa, Mexico. His mother left him with his grandmother as a child, and he never knew his father. Rosales then lived with his grandmother until the age of 15, where he dropped out of high school and left his hometown of Navolato.
From the jump, Shorty was abandoned by his parents. Father left them behind, mother left them behind. Sometimes all you got is your grandma.
He made the nearby town of Culiacan his new home. At that time.
So at 15, he moved to Culiacan. Think about these spoiled 15-year-old American kids that can barely walk to their basketball game by themselves, let alone decide that they're going to get up, change their life, and leave their hometown because they want something different. That's what Shorty did.
He made a living by washing cars. However, by the time he was 17 years old, he had begun to make a very good living for someone his age. But apart from the money he made, the one thing that was sure to make people wish they were in his
How'd he make his money though? Washing cars?
shoes was the way he made his money.
Oh,
Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales was a partier, and that may as well have been his profession. He would post videos on social media of himself drinking excessively. Most of the time in the videos he made, he was either drunk enough to pass out or on his way there. His videos showcased him drinking bottles and cans of...
That boy killing himself. Here's another thing too, man. With these social media, I'm not going to call them influencers. I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, Howard Stern had the whack pack. What some of these guys don't realize is that they're part of a whack pack. He walked around, everybody smiling, watching him kill himself with liquor, but in reality, the reality of society is they're not laughing with him, they're laughing at him. I feel the same way about the Welvins and the 50 Tysons and the Ice JJ Fish, and salutes to them if they make some money, salutes to them if things work out for them, you know what I'm saying? But they think that they're the life of the party. They walk in there, but everybody's just sitting here laughing at you, not with you. But the internet's a fake place anyway, you know what I'm saying? And people are willing to do real things to serve up a fake image to you. Shorty was willing to drown himself to make you love him. There's a lot of lames. There's a lot of lames out there. Everybody got a YouTube channel. Just because these guys got YouTube channels and they do interviews doesn't mean they're cool, doesn't mean they're smart, doesn't mean they're nice guys, doesn't mean they're tough guys, doesn't mean none of that shit. They're going to give you and portray to you what they want to portray to you, and it's up to you to believe it or not. Now, a lot of people believe this shit. A lot of people believe all the fake shit that's on the internet. Then there's people that don't believe it, that see right through it. But at the end of the day, these kids that's out here doing all of this stuff, they're not getting laughed with, they're getting laughed at. This kid was getting laughed at, but he thought he was the man. Mind you, probably didn't matter at the end of the week because he was getting paid, but that helps you get ahead of yourself.
As well as bottles of whiskey and other alcoholic drinks. Sometimes, he would get so drunk that he would actually pass out. Strangely enough, his videos...
man, he looked like a 60-year-old drunk right there. 17 years old, 16 years old.
Started going viral. People from all over Mexico and beyond.
See that dude? See, look, they're not laughing with him, they're laughing at him. So is the promoter that books him. So is everybody. Then they get left with nothing. All of these dudes that you think are, they got this, they're touring and all of this and that. It's just a bunch of people throwing money at them to laugh at them. That's all it is. Cool, accept that. If that's what you want, accept that. But just remember that when it's all said and done, they will forget about you.
They liked watching him drink extraordinary amounts of alcohol.
Yeah, we are entertained. We are entertained by our fellow man's crash out. This is a real thing.
Drugs. The silly jokes he made, the funny things he did while drunk and sometimes even sober, and his clownish behavior in general was entertaining and attracted a lot of fans and followers to his social media. On Instagram, he had over 300,000 followers, and on Facebook, his follower count was more than 1 million. He was a social media sensation. Juan Luis was widely known by the nickname he had adopted, El Pirata de Culiacán, which means the Pirate of Culiacan, a name which was inspired by his implied fondness of his new hometown. The Pirate of Culiacan's increasing...
Here's another problem that he had. I don't know if they mentioned it here, but another problem he had was the people of Culiacan that he adopted at his own didn't necessarily adopt him. They didn't like that he was using the name. You know, they felt like
Social
he was
media
degrading the
popularity
name.
earned him spots as a guest in music videos and in several parties and promotional events. Anyone not familiar with his age might have found it difficult to believe that Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales was just 17 years old. His lifestyle gave no clues to the fact that he was not even a legal adult. The legal drinking age in Mexico is 18 years old, but that didn't stop the Pirate of Culiacan, who was just 17, from drinking heavily as well as taking and sharing videos of his alcohol-filled lifestyle. It seemed
Alcohol, he was just
that
powdering
it was
his
his
brain
aim
a
to
little
make
while
people
ago.
forget just how young he was. He would post pictures and videos of himself on social media with expensive cars, motorcycles, and wads of currency notes. Juan often painted a beard on his face.
Till Shorty really didn't want to be himself. That kid wanted to be something else, something bigger than himself. Thought he achieved it for a while. Probably his downfall.
His babyish features, making him look much older than he actually was. He also had huge tattoos on both his arms, a tiger and a pirate, as a reference to his nickname. In addition to all of this, the Pirate of Culiacan often posted pictures of himself posing with half-naked ladies and even different types of weaponry. It should not come as a surprise that his fame and
He didn't know no better. He's 17 years old. He knows I got the opportunity to sit in these cars and have this money and deal with these chicks and he's 17 years old. He's gonna do it. I'm gonna hold these guns. I'm tough. Bad boy.
lifestyle may have gotten into his head. He felt he could say anything that he liked to anyone at all. In his mind, he was probably invincible. It also shouldn't come as a surprise that he broke the law frequently and got away with it every time. Doing drugs, drinking alcohol as a minor, and flaunting weapons. All of these things he did boldly and even shared them online for all the world to see. Yet, the authorities turned a blind eye. Rather than getting a bad rep or a penalty for his gallant disregard for the law, what he got was a growing fan base, celebrity friends,
A growing fan base, right, of us ridiculous humans laughing at him, not with him. We're so easily entertained by bullshit, by nothingness. Something makes you laugh once, you can't just enjoy the laugh and move on. Now we gotta beat it to death. Now it has to become a thing.
and acquaintances, invites to parties, and business deals. The more daring he became, the more his fame continued to grow, so there was no reason convincing enough for him to stop or slow
Why would
down. He continued to push boundaries, unrestrained and untouchable. However, one fateful day,
That's him just acting a fool. There's no creativity in just acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? So he was always feeling the pressure of, I gotta do, how am I gonna get 1 million views on this next video? The pressure of, I gotta do another thing. The pressure, I gotta do some more ridiculous shit. It's like that kind of pressure is crazy.
he went a little too far. The very business of uploading audacious videos to entertain others, which made him an enviable living, would cost him his life. In December of 2017,
Stop it
Rosales
with the
posted
beard.
yet another video online. In this video, he seemed to be intoxicated. However, this was so common for the Pirate of Culiacan that it was almost expected for him to be at least a little tipsy in all his videos. In the video in question, he was anything but reserved, talking with a reckless confidence and with his characteristic air of invincibility. He made bold statements while
Tweaked.
gesturing at the camera. Under normal circumstances, this video would have passed as just another of the entertainer's stunts. It would have gained him some likes on social media and maybe 2, 3, or even hundreds of new followers. He would have continued his life as usual. He may have even created a more daring video next time. However, the circumstances were anything but normal, and this was because of the person that Juan Luis had decided to target in the video, El Mencho.
Papa, yo te voy a traer lo que sea la verga. Así que el mecho a mí me pela la verga.
Boom. Right there. That was the moment that boy signed his death certificate. For those that don't know, he basically invited the most notorious, ruthless, violent cartel leader. He invited him to the Frank stand. He invited him to his private parts. He made a mistake. That's why mistakes are mistakes. You can fix some. There's some that are unfixable.
Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, more popularly known by his alias El Mencho, is the leader of Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generación, which translates to New Generation Jalisco Cartel in English. This cartel is one of the most notorious organized crime syndicates in the entire nation of Mexico. They are known as the fastest growing, most violent, and the second most powerful cartel in the country, second only to Cartel de Sinaloa, which was once led by the infamous drug lord El Chapo. The New Generation Jalisco Cartel is a relatively new cartel. It's just over a decade old, but has grown incredibly fast and has become incredibly powerful. The cartel was formed by a splinter group, which broke off from the syndicate known as the Milenio Cartel. Despite being a young organization, the New Generation has drawn the attention of the general populace. They've made headlines several times. Once, they shot down an army helicopter using an RPG and killing 6 soldiers in order to protect their leader. Another time, they sent the head of a decapitated pig to a former attorney general in an attempt to intimidate him. In addition to these, the cartel has killed judges, policemen, congressmen, and thousands of civilians.
So it's not even a drop of water off their back to go smack up this 17-year-old that just running his mouth talking too much.
One time, they ambushed a group of policemen, killing 14 of them. According to United States officials, the cartel is responsible for supplying more than 1/3 of all illegal drugs consumed in the US and has even expanded into Europe and Asia. They have several methamphetamine labs throughout Mexico and are also involved in the illegal production and sale of cocaine, as well as crystal meth. What's more, the gang is known for stealing crude oil, selling weapons, kidnapping, extortion, and several other criminal acts.
Dumb boys got their hands in everything.
Of violence. And at the top of this chain of violence and crime is the man known as El Mencho. El Mencho is a man who likes to keep a low profile and remain shrouded in mystery. He is one of the most wanted criminals in the United States and in Mexico. He tops the list as the most wanted drug lord. El Mencho is wanted for drug trafficking, illegal possessions of firearms, and for his involvement in organized crime. His career started in the Milenio Cartel, but after most of his bosses were either killed or arrested, he went on to create his own cartel.
Now, if you remember, and if you want to make the cross-section to Surviving El Chapo series, there was a point where both brothers was kidnapped by cops, and they were in a station, and they made their calls, and they were to be released, and they had to do a switch off because the feds was already on their way. They had to switch off 2 patsies with the twins themselves, and Mencho facilitated that. You know, when those feds pulled up, Mencho had that whole area on basic lockdown, where if they didn't want those feds to leave that spot, them feds wouldn't have left that spot. Buddy been out there wreaking havoc for a long, long time, and Shorty took it upon himself in a live, or who knows who uploaded that video, because it probably shouldn't have been uploaded. We're gonna play the video again a couple of times. You can see the people, everybody around him knew what he had done at that moment. Everybody's, 1 minute they was laughing at him, next minute they was like, whoa, 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 chill out, right? A mistake that he couldn't fix. But I don't know if it was a live video, or I don't know if somebody uploaded it after the fact, because he might have survived it. If it was just word of mouth of the 3 guys that were there and that video got deleted and never got uploaded, you know what I'm saying? Done deal. But the fact that it was on the internet, you think a guy who runs these guys gonna let that slide? Guy that runs these guys in this paramilitary outfits with all the pouches? So Shorty definitely signed his own death certificate.
The New Generation Jalisco Cartel. Under his direction, the New Generation has achieved top notoriety in Mexico. Everything his cartel's done was directed under his leadership. Reportedly, El Mencho was once a police direction. The New Generation has achieved top notoriety in Mexico. Everything his cartel's done was directed under his leadership. Reportedly, El Mencho was once a police officer. However, he has no doubt since crossed over to the wrong side of the law. His infamy has earned him a record-breaking bounty set by the United States government. The U.S. authorities are offering a monetary reward of $10 million for anyone who has information leading to his arrest or conviction. So far, this is the highest that has ever been offered by the United States government for a drug lord. In Mexico, the bounty being offered for El Mencho is 30 million pesos, which comes to less than 1.5 million American dollars. Evidently, El Mencho is not the type of guy to be messed around with. It is almost impossible to be familiar with the name El Mencho without being aware of the ruthlessness and violence that has been associated with him and his cartel. However, despite the drug lord's reputation, El Pirata went ahead and took a jab at him. Unfortunately, the young YouTube sensation didn't stop there. He took yet another dangerous step by putting the video on the internet for the viewing pleasure of his masses of fans and anyone who cared to watch it.
Well, there it was. It's one thing to sign your death certificate by saying what you said at all, period. It's a whole nother thing to think when you had the opportunity to delete it and disappear it, when you had the opportunity to not let it happen, those views meant more to you than your own life, because he uploaded it.
In the video, Juan Luis said, El Mencho a mí me pela la verga, which roughly translates to, El Mencho, suck my On the 18th of December, 2017, a Monday night not too long after he released this video, Rosales was out partying with friends at a bar in Jalisco. This was the last party that El Pirata would ever attend. At around 11 p.m., the fun was interrupted by a group of armed men who burst into the bar and started shooting. Even though one of the employees of the bar, a 25-year-old, was also killed, the attack was evidently targeted at Juan. They pumped bullets into his body, killing the young internet celebrity. According to Raul Sanchez Jimenez, the teenager sustained between 15 and 18 bullet wounds. When authorities came to the scene, it was Juan's tattoos that they used to identify the bullet-ridden corpse. Juan's death was one of several during a year which ended as Mexico's deadliest year in recent history. Within the year of 2017, the country recorded over 25,000 homicides. This gave an average of 69 murders per day. The state of Jalisco alone had nearly 1,400 murders in that year. No doubt, Jalisco was a dangerous place. However, Juan seemed to have bitten off more than he could chew the moment he recorded that video and posted it online. The killers still have not been identified, and till date, no one has been arrested in relation to the murder of
them killers ain't never gonna be identified.
Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales. While some may have envied the life that the star once had, it's clear that being in the public eye had its drawbacks. He actually had a good sense of humor and often joked around in his videos about the fact that he was overweight. When he wasn't passed out from intoxication, he was a cheerful, fun teenager who was loved by his friends. However, to make the story of this teenager's death even more disheartening, Juan had been making subtle mentions of his attempts at getting a better lifestyle. Once, during an interview, he admitted that he sometimes takes his drinking too far. The young star had hopes of starting a singing career. In fact, he had signed a deal with a recording label. Unfortunately for him, in the words of his friend and fellow social media celebrity, Beto Sierra, even though Juan wanted to change and live a better life, there was no lack of bad influences. Juan Luis Lagunas.
Of course not. All of those influences are just people that want to see other people crash. They want to laugh at you. They don't want to laugh with you. This is the ongoing theme of this story. And here's the thing. These kids, again, they go viral. And that viral creates a pressure for them to continue to be viral, right? But these kids don't understand the psychology of stand-up comedy. They don't understand the psychology of comedy. They just think being funny is being funny. They just in front of a camera talking mad shit. Shit's not funny. Everybody laughing at them, not with them. They want a comedy career. They want out, but they don't want to do the work that it takes. They just want to freestyle. You know what I'm saying? And freestyle has become enough to entertain you people. Not even good freestyle, bad freestyle, basically. So here he is. His idea of funny is I'm going to get drunk and I'm going to talk shit. And you know what I'm saying? And that's it. To a point where he invited dude to, to his manhood. And he paid the ultimate price. And there's tips and tricks. This is not magic. This is something you can figure out. You just got to want to learn it. Because if you don't learn it, now you're sitting out there freestyling. And then for a little bit of internet clout and some views, you say the wrong thing about the wrong dude. It don't got to be a cartel leader. It could be anybody. You say the wrong thing about the wrong dude, say the wrong thing about the wrong dude's wife, wrong thing about the wrong dude's child. Next thing you know, you done signed your death warrant. Don't let the internet fool you. Watch your mouth. He punched his own ticket. He felt like the more reckless he was, the more he was loved. The more he felt like he was doing something. You know, and then drunk at the same time. Here's one of his videos here. It says, Pirata de Culiacán le tira el celular a su novia.
¿Con quién está hablando de que su ciudad?
Look at him stumbling.
¿Con quién estás hablando ahora? Pásame el vato. Pásame. ¡Ey, hijo de tu puta madre!
Dámelo, ¿qué te pasa?
See, like that, that's ridiculous. You throwing Skyrise, you bust somebody in the head, they die. You going to jail for murder, bro. Because you threw a heavy-ass phone over, you know, I don't get it. People think that decisions like that are not, you know, don't have consequences. That type of shit has consequence, dog. And this is like the Aiden Ross and all of those other little dorks. All these little rich dorks, the Island Boys, all these little dorks that are on the internet, all that fake shit, them fighting each other, and they got drill rappers from Chicago. Drill rappers, them little rich motherfuckers, they laughing at you, not with you. Everybody's laughing at you, not with you. You know what I'm saying? Adam 22 laughing at you, not with you. Adam 22 is there for something like what happened to El Pirata de Culiacán. He's there for that to happen to you. Because he don't give a shit about you. As long as you come on his platform and you allow people to laugh at you and not with you right there. So it's the same thing. All these little rich dorks, or what seem to be rich dorks, definitely dorks, not sure how rich they are. They're probably rich now from doing all this stupid shit. But they go and they push buttons and they do all this prank shit and this, that, the other. You get your teeth knocked out, man. You get your face smacked off. You know, he throwing phones off of the side of skyscrapers and shit. Look at this other dork.
Así no me quedó para la morra que se pasa de verga, así no me quedó. Bueno, mames, aventó.
For the love of some dorks, for the laughter of some jerk-offs, Shorty signed his death warrant to entertain some assholes, and if I'm not mistaken, it was that night. Because I believe that's the shirt he was wearing when he got smoked. Yeah, let's have a good time. Let me drink this shit from the bottle. That 17-year-old probably had the liver of a 50-year-old. Alcoholic.
Así no me quedó.
Le pusieron brillosito.
Yo le estaba pidiendo el billete 20 para él.
Look at him, look at him.
No vuelta, no vuelta.
Dying, dehydrating. Poisoned.
Lo perdió, señor. Primero militar,
Out of there. Live fast. He lived fast.
No. Acuéstalo, güey, acuéstalo mejor, acuéstalo bien.
Boom. Come on, man. Them not your friends. You just split your shit. Nobody cared. Everybody laughing at you up to the point that you split your shit. And the only reason that they all went, oh, it's not because you split your shit. It's because they projected how they would feel if they split their own shit. You know what I'm saying? They're not worried about you splitting your shit. So these people gave you that bottle and said, let me make you play the dummy. And what happens? You feel like you the man because you playing the dummy and you're not the man. You're not the man. For the short, fast life that he had, the kid will forever live in infamy. You know what I'm saying? There was copycats of him. We're going to look into a couple of the copycats, too. A couple copycats that had to apologize. I don't know what their fate was. I don't know if any of them got smoked or whatever. But he had a couple copycats, a couple of people that thought that they was paying him some type of honor and respect by doing the same thing he did and then having to walk back their words because is he not proof enough? Is what happened to him not proof enough? So this kid here is El Chanito de Culiacan. Evidently, he was another dude from Culiacan that, you know, him and El Pirata used to talk shit to each other back and forth. Pulled the copycat move, looked like he's licking up. Got a little tiny homie with him. Somebody filming that I'm sure is laughing at them, not with them. And here's what he has to say. Boom, he did the same thing El Pirata did. He invited Mencho to his manhood, playing games, not realizing, like, see, because to them, this guy's probably like a ghost. They hear his name, they see his influence, but they never see him. They just run their mouth like this. But he just basically did the same thing that El Pirata did.
Aquí, estaba aquí, venga para acá para Loma Rodríguez y para ver, bueno, a ver, pues cuando vamos para allá para Jalisco, yo y mi compa aquí en la camionetona que tengo aquí, a echar un chingazo para allá a la verga, Yo no me duermo como el pirata, aquí estoy bien al 100, aquí estamos a millones a la verga. Y así nomás se lo digo, la
He
verga.
just took a shot at the Pirata. Now, I don't know if this happened after El Pirata died or before, but he just threw a shot at him.
Verga. Pido 420. Y me pela la verga, viejo. Me la pela.
Chano, ¿para qué dices?
And here we go. Different body language, different approach. It was dark in the other video, but I'm pretty sure there's a different look on his face. Yeah. Reality seemed to have kicked in for shorty.
Dice, güey.
Dígame que disculpa.
Pide disculpas. Pide disculpas.
Pide disculpa, Mencho.
Pide disculpas.
Disculpa, compa Mencho.
No están mis 5 sentidos.
He's apologizing. He's apologizing, saying he was drunk. I'm sorry. Please don't.
Es que andaba bien pedo, ahorita ando en mis 5 ahorita ando.
Entonces está arrepentido. Sí está arrepentido.
He repents.
Me respeto por viejo.
That boy don't want no part of the problems. I don't know what the outcome of that was. If anybody in the comments knows, let me know, and we'll look into it. All right, here we go with yet another genius that pulled the same move and decided to go on the internet and talk crazy to Mencho.
Mira bien, hijo de tu puta perra madre. A mí me pela la verga el Mencho. Aquí si nomás se los digo puro 420. Yo no me duermo como el pirata o el chanito de Culiacan. Yo soy inmortal.
So he just threw shots at both El Pirata and the Chanito.
Yo soy intocable y yo
He's
soy
immortal.
con el diablo, cabrón.
Made a
Así
pact
que
with
si
the
no
devil.
sabes de mí, de existencia, yo te vine a mandar fuego, Mencho. Así que no me da miedo decir esto, cabrón. Yo lo digo fuera en cámaras o aquí, cabrón. Así que a mí me pela la madre el Mencho. Si nomás se lo digo puro 420.
Oye, este video lo hice para el señor Menso, para el señor Mencho. Pido disculpas, lo que dije no estaba bien, no estaba consciente de lo que estaba diciendo, estaba mal. Ese día amanecí bien pendejo.
That's it right there. Ese día amanecí bien pendejo. He woke up stupid that day. That's the answer. That's the answer. Now, what happens when these cartel guys don't want to hear about how you woke up? They don't give a shit how you woke up. They care about how you gonna get laid down, how they can put you down. These kids gotta throw apologies. Now, it's bad enough to record it, but to live stream it or to upload it, you just ridiculous.
No me di las consecuencias, me dejé llevar por los seguidores y pido disculpas.
I did it for the followers. Then who is the follower? That's what you internet kids got to figure out. If everything's for the follower, are you the follower? You the leader? Are they following you? I don't know. It sounds like they're leading. Sounds like they're telling you what to do.
Te quiere, a ti, a tu familia. Oye, este video lo hice para el señor Menso. Para el señor Mencho, pido disculpas, lo que dije no estaba bien, no estaba consciente de lo que estaba diciendo.
Was this a Freudian slip? Because at the beginning he said,
Oye, este video lo hice para el
for Mr. Moron, I made this video. Menso is moron, and Mencho's dude's name. Now, was that a Freudian slip from a dumb kid? Was it just he misspoke? Or did he take a very subtle early shot at Mencho again at the beginning of this video? Is the question. Is he playing games? I don't think so. I think he slipped up. Probably should have edited that front end off, but it is what it is.
Señor Menso, para el señor Mencho, pido disculpas, lo que dije no estaba bien, no estaba consciente de lo que estaba diciendo, estaba mal. Ese día amanecí bien pendejo. No me di las consecuencias, me dejé llevar por los seguidores y pido disculpas, se te quiere, a ti, a tu familia. Y Mencho, no me mates, cabrón. Yo tengo familia así como usted y pido mis disculpas. Aquí todos cometemos errores y pues Dios está viendo todo eso, así que pido disculpas porque la verdad,
He had a pact with the devil in the last video, but now God is watching.
la verdad no sé lo que estaba haciendo. Todos cometemos errores y yo tengo problemas psicológicos, así que acuérdese, Señor, que se le quiere.
He got psychological problems, huh? He's a little off his square, according to himself. So if you ask me, this story is summed up by don't let your followers send you off and put you in a position where you signed your own death warrant. Be creative, put in the work, sit down, write it down, plan it out. You'll create something dope. But to just put the pressure on yourself over and over and over again to do something more ridiculous, more stupid and ill-advised every time you do something, you're just going to leave yourself to a position where you sign your own death warrant. Don't be a copycat. The rest of these copycats came with their apologies right away. I never heard an apology from El Pirata. It's like he stood on it. Hey, I did it. It is what it is. Well, you pay for it. Just remember, they're your followers. You set the tone. You lead. I mean, this stuff takes no thought. He ended up dead. He didn't end up sweating in a jail with Kai Cenat and a bunch of other YouTubers and rappers and just ridiculous shit that happens on the internet. You know what I'm saying? That they have to do to continue to garner followers. Well, if the followers are calling the shots, you the follower. They the leaders. Long story short, watch your mouth. Understand what you're dealing with before you think that you have the capacity to deal with it. Could that kid have changed? Yeah, that kid could have. He had a lot of opportunity ahead of him. He made a mistake that he couldn't take back. So it is what it is. Rest in peace, Pirata de Culiacán.